Hey there, welcome to my digital empire. This is the Mantra Women, aka Key. Excuse my voice. I had a few beers last night. Me trying to blend in. Maybe I have a fear of loneliness, so maybe I thought it was what it takes to socialize for whatever reason. I know that it's not good for my chakra, the energy flow in my chakra. I know that it's not good for my spirit. And I didn't do it because I was interested. I did it because I wanted to blend in. I wanted to, you know, somehow to be family. I wanted to be a member of society, whatever. Anyways, um, lately I was thinking about also addiction, and addiction is beyond substance use and porn, whatever you are addicted to that the mainstream media is glorifying. But addiction is about addictive pattern. It's a pattern that's in most people in 21st century. And I care about being relatable, like I said. So how can I be relatable to people in my age if I'm covering up my frustrations, if I'm covering up my human side and the things that I'm struggling with? I'm a daughter of an addict. My father was an alcoholic and my mother was addicted to different things and in different times. So I have it in my genes, as well as being abused verbally, emotionally, and sexually. I think it paves a way to having to strengthen those addictive patterns within ourselves too. So that's been one of my struggles lately. But to get out of any addictive pattern, whether it's food, whether it's a place, or whatever it is that you are overdoing, over pursuing is your addiction. To get out of that is the only way that I can see is most effective for me is just keep loving myself, keep loving my body, trying to feel to stream love energy from my heart to all parts of my body. So you will get to a point where your body starts rejecting that, or your mind is not interested in those things anymore. But then you know only the habit remains. So you do it because you have been doing it for a long time. Those things that we impulsively do, just compulsively do, like because we are used to them. Only the habit remains. So I've been watching documentaries and TED Talks, and I've been trying to find good material on building healthy habits and self discipline. That's been the major part of my lessons lately. So I'm so happy that I am doing that. But anyways, I care about being relatable. That's why I'm saying all of this. You are not alone. If you are struggling with addiction, you're not alone, and all you need is love. But today I came to the camera to talk about projection, the most powerful thing on planet Earth. I don't see many people talking about it. You might not even know what psychological projection is, but I think I have suffered enough from it. Now it's time for me to speak about it. So, projection is defined on Wikipedia as being a state of mind in which the reality that we are experiencing in the inside is perceived as coming from the outside when it's coming from the inside. And I'll give you examples because that's the only way to make you understand in full what I'm trying to portray here. Um, so once I started awakening, okay, I I had to visit my family from time to time, except I was drifting off of our common ground. Um, I was starting to live in my own world that I loved very much, and my family didn't accept that, especially because of the mirroring effect. Every time I hang out with people, I know what they're mirroring back to me, and I know that what I'm mirroring back to them. And it's depending on the nature of the connection we have. Some mirroring is stronger than others. So, my mom, for example, she never accepted my journey. She never accepted my spiritual journey. She thinks that I'm crazy. She thinks that there is something that's fundamentally wrong with me. And that's because I am a reminder of all of her pain, all of her potential, all of her frustration, all of her wins and losses, you know? So there is a strong bond between a mother and a child. So because of the strength of our connectivity, everything that she sees in me, it's also in her, whether it's negative or positive. Many people say we look alike physically, I mean with my mom, and some of our behaviors also, you know. Um I used to be how can I say, very fierce like her, you know, like she has that warrior vibe, and I also have that warrior vibe, except she didn't have the opportunity to show that. She never had the opportunity to go to school to learn, you know. And that's her karma, right? That doesn't mean it's not possible for me, but she hates that it's possible for me. She competes with me, and she doesn't want me, whether she's doing it subconsciously or unconsciously or consciously, her spirit is somehow in conflict with mine. So, you know, there was one time I went home for a holiday, and they said that they want to have a holy water session together with me and all of the women in the house, like my aunt, my grandmom, my mom, and me. So I thought it was a genuine request from their side, because also I believe in water, holy water sessions, and I've been doing it for a long time. They said we want to have that session under your guidance, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And then we went to the place, and once we got there, they bought chain for my hand and for my legs. Okay, they paid for men, strangers, like 10, 15 of them, to keep an eye on me, to protect me in that place, to just watch me so that I won't escape. I don't have to escape. And they just abandoned me in the middle of a valley that's surrounded by mountains. Like four of women in my family who were supposed to nurture me, love me, and encourage me in this path were turning things against me because of their projection. Okay, so their inside reality is that I never made it to a point that she did. I was never curious as she is. I never take ownership for my jealousy, for my competitiveness, for my arrogance, for my bad attitude. And yet she's in this healing journey, and I don't want her to go up. She has to stay with us, right? Because they share that common wound. Somehow it's their demons clicking and somehow hating on my light. And projection is so powerful because it messes with your energy field. How we are communicating with the universe is by sending signals with our energy field. Okay, like this physical body is not the only thing that you are. It's not just all of who you are. Maybe it's 20% of who you are. The other parts are like your astral body and your energy field. It's even scientifically proven, right? Electromagnetic field. We have electromagnetic field around our body, and that's how we send signals. You know, where if you are sending a signal of abundance, you attract abundance. If you are sending a signal of abandonment, you will attract more abandonment into your life. So, anyways, when someone projects onto you, this is the most crucial part of this video. Okay, projection is, if I feel inside, for example, if I feel rejected by you inside, I would it's not like, the case might not be that you rejecting me, but it's just my perception that you are rejecting me. Or maybe you are rejecting me and I'm taking it personally. You know, I'm taking it personally. It's because I'm not good enough. It's because I don't have this, I don't have that. So I make it look as if the problem is with you. Like you are the one with the problem. And start saying things like, you are you are a bad person, you know? You are guilty of abandoning me. You are guilty of discarding me. When in fact, you are just being yourself, and I am the one with the problem of fear of rejection. I am the one with the problem of not liking myself enough, and now I'm projecting it onto you. So, if you are a highly sensitive person like me, you will feel projection so deep, because somehow projection is like projecting something against. Like, it's like, for example, like having flashlight, your flashlight on the wall, it's like that, right? So the light reaches the wall. That's how projection, psychological projection, reach to your electromagnetic fields, and it can create holes, physical holes, literally around your aura. Okay. And it hurts you, right? It hurts you emotionally when people project onto you the things that aren't true, because you somehow triggered them deep within them. You mirrored back to them where they are denying themselves. Now that's something they can't accept. Many people aren't receptive of unconditional love. And also, like, even that's true for myself in some situations. So when someone comes your way who loves you unconditionally, it's just, for example, when I connect with people, I'm a hugger. When I connect, I truly connect. I can go anywhere with you. And for me to connect with someone is to acknowledge their presence and to be present for them. Okay, it's not agreeing with them, it's not complimenting them or anything. It's just to know that you are present here with me. And I'm not interested in labeling my connections, to be honest. I don't need to. Okay. If I have a boyfriend, for example, I will tell you that I'm in a relationship, and then I don't stress on calling you my brother or calling you my friend, because if our connection is sexual to you, maybe that's the purpose of the universe for you to learn about your sexuality through me. For me, it's like everything is an ecosystem. I don't want to interfere on the universe's way of doing things, and the universe makes no mistakes in people, in bringing people together. That's something that I always say. So if you are sexually attracted to me, and yet if I know that I'm just barely connected to you, you will learn your lesson. When you get to a point where you have to take action and ask me to go out on a date or anything, I will then stand up for myself and say, I'm not interested. Or if I'm interested, okay, let's go on, right? So, you know, people are so defensive these days. And defensive, it's like projection is actually a defensive mechanism. In my mom's case, for example, I don't want to go to places where I feel like it's too late for me to go to. And I don't want you to remind me of where I failed in life. I don't want you to show me there is a possibility of salvation for me because I'm comfortable where I am. I'm comfortable with the familiar. So I hate you for that. So I want to call you crazy, and even more give you a hard time. Okay, I had to stay in that place where my aunt, my grandmom, and my mother dropped me. I had to stay in that place 3 days. I didn't eat anything because I couldn't cook. There was no facilities. There was no sleep, a place to sleep. So I slept on earth, like just on naked earth. And I was angry. Okay, I was angry. But in the meantime, it was Father Taklaimanot, the saint that I work with very closely, the Ethiopian saint that I work with very closely, that's been with me since childhood. So in that place also, I learned about forgiveness. I learned about the nature of human beings, and I learned about how the war between these two polarities, like, is more of natural than it is problematic. So I learned about acceptance and things like that. And thankfully, on the third day, I had enough energy to stand up for myself and to say enough is enough. So I got out of that place, and that was the last encounter I had with my family. And recently, I stopped communication with them because, why would I keep communicating? Especially as I started loving myself more, I stopped believing in the idea that nuclear family are the most important part of your life. No, you know I am more of a, I believe in having a community. I want to build a community somehow, even though I don't know how to. So the reason why I want to do that is humans have to be free enough to go out in the world, to meet people, and to give them the place that they deserve. Okay, to give them, like, to give you the place that you deserve in my life. And that's not dependent upon whether you are, like, on being related to each other, blood relation. That's what they call it. I call it nuclear family because that's how I know it. So anyways, I felt lonely at first after I said enough is enough to my family, because all of them have the same reality that they want to drown into, or like it's working for them. What's not working for me is their resistance of my reality. So okay, well, I'm gonna go out there and meet my family. I'm gonna go out there and meet people from all types of race, age, whatever, and then I'm gonna call them family if they are in resonance to the truth that I'm affirming. So anyways, projection is very powerful in a sense. It's a defensive mechanism. It's a defensive mechanism that we we come up with when we are triggered deep inside by some mirror that's in front of us. Okay, so there was this guy that I met at the festival that I was in. That festival had taught me almost, it's a turning point for me. Like everything that I have experienced in that festival is a turning point for me. It's like maybe for some people it's just one happening that they had in their lifetime. Maybe they have been to many, many festivals and it's not a big deal. And it's not that it's the first festival that I went to, but it's that how it affected me spiritually, and especially given my twin flame was there. And we have a lot of differences and similarities with him. Yet I was learning about him through other people, and he was learning about me through other people. And one of the guys that I was learning about my twin flame through, as somehow we met and we kind of connected. We had connection. We started talking, and it was going well. We were just sharing the love, hugging, talking. It's just normal stuff. Me, I was like, I was thinking about my twin flame all the time. Also, he was triggering me because he was avoiding me. Like his attachment style is avoidance, and my attachment style is anxious, which is the exact same thing that happens to most twin flames out there. A lot of things about us is things that happen to the majority of twin flames, and that's my confirmation. For example, our age difference. There is a big age difference between us, and the guy that I met at the festival is also the same age gap as I have with my twin flame, and he's from the same continent that my twin flame is from. And a lot of things are similar between him and my twin flame, except the core reality that they have is there is a big difference there in their core. That's why I can't feel the same thing that I feel for my twin flame for this guy. And also it's just a completely pure loving connection for me that was happening between us, and we were on things. We were just listening to music, vibing together and stuff. And then at some point, I introduced him to someone that I met also in Kigali, that I was staying with in the same place. And then we met at the festival. So I had introduced him to her. They are same age, from the same continent. They are the same at what do you call it, on the 3D level. They have a lot of similarity. So once they have met, I was out of the picture. He completely discarded me, and he was like, I didn't see you. You are not there anymore. And then, I thought about it. What was happening? What it's really about? What it is about? I had to think about that. And, I was poking him. I was uh somehow energetically, I was pushing him to open up, to be real, to go to that space within himself, and to question his racism, to question his inferiority, like, his insecurity that he has about his age. Somehow, some way, I learned young men who are younger than the women that they are seeing or dating, they have this insecurity of knowing that the woman may have experiences that they don't yet have, like for example sexual experiences with other people who are well achieved, well successful, or they might feel inferior because of the difference in knowledge, like. So all of that insecurity is now projected onto me, because later on I met the guy in some place. It was an accident. It wasn't an accident, but it was an accident because we didn't call each other or anything. We just happened to be in the same place and we started talking. And he said that I assumed that you liked me and I didn't want to hurt you. So it means that I was beginning to like you. I was beginning to see the truth of me in you, in that mirror, and I had to defend myself at that point. Don't take me there. That's a part of me that I don't want to know. That's a part of me that I don't want to see. And I don't like being vulnerable. I don't like admitting to the fact that I was being interested in you. So once you introduce me to that girl, I would rather stick to what's easy than what's challenging, you know? So he didn't like the challenge. I was a challenge to him. The same way that I was a challenge to my family, the same way I was a challenge to some of my friends, my childhood friends, you know? So I knew that he was projecting that onto me, you know, like I told him it's the opposite. You were beginning to like me and I was into someone else. Maybe I also triggered your fear of rejection, your rejection pain, your abandonment wound, and your not enough wound. So now you made me into a problem and you discarded me completely. And how did we get to from connecting on a higher level to completely not seeing each other? And like that doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, I it's not that I wanted to fix the situation or anything, but he came to me and he initiated a conversation, and I had to tell him how he made me feel. You know, it hurt me somehow that he did that. You know, he had that attitude of, you know, I don't know you, whatever. But then I understood that it's because of his wound. It's because of his own discontentment, and also he is a firm believer that he's here for Africans to explore, like black people, whatever. And then he met a Pan Africanist, which is me, right? And then he saw in me that there was still a part of him that's a racist. There is still an inner programming that's a racist. And how do I know is because that person that I introduced him to is a racist, you know, because she said something like, the reason I was talking to her about my twin flame and that he was avoiding me and I'm hurt. She said something like, "What if it's because you are not white? You're not a typical white woman in his age." And I was like, of all the things that you can come up with, of all the things that you can think of, you think of race, which makes you a racist, right? It's as simple as that. And also the energy that she was giving off. So, anyways, this video is not about racism. This video is not about um even spirituality. This video is about projection, and this is the best scenario and the best example I have in all of my life. You know, this is where I saw the gravity of projection, because somehow through this guy, I'm learning about my twin flame through him. You understand? Somehow maybe he's also feeling some of these things, you know, even though he didn't say those. We're on a separation phase right now, we're not communicating, but the power of projection, how it messes with your energy field, because I woke up feeling somehow upset this morning, even because, you know, the conversation happened last night, but I'm still holding on to it somehow because I felt the projection, you know, like, and yet, like, on my side, I guess it's not to free myself of anything, but I didn't believe in myself and I didn't feel enough for a long time. So, in situations like this where I'm rejected by someone or discarded by people who are supposed to value me, work with me, or anything, they kind of touch that wound that I have of, you know, not enough. So, I'm also working on that, and that's why I'm not giving a damn, you know, like I'm not as stressed, I'm not as concerned as I was about how people are seeing me, because by this time I learned that I'm truly a universal mirror, and I don't expect many people to love me. They can learn from me, but I don't expect them to love me or to like me. But I know they are learning from me. I know that they are learning from me more than they are willing to admit, and that's the only thing that matters to me. And being in service to others is all about giving. I watched the video of Teals one on YouTube that she made about transaction, and how transaction must happen in all of our connections, especially with humans. And Yeah, I believe in that idea somehow, but it's when I do business or when I'm working on a project or teamwork. In my everyday life, I'm serving many people, especially by telling the truth. I heal with people big time, big time. I heal with people than I heal with myself alone. I would say it's 50-50. So I don't expect anyone to come back to me with something as an exchange to the service that I'm giving. But I'm very happy that I am able to share what I have with as many people as possible, regardless of what their opinion is about me, regardless of how they treat me. But if you treat me like shit, I'm bound to exit your world. I'm bound to delete your numbers. I'm bound to just carry on with my journey, because now I love myself better, and I'm only going to where I'm celebrated, not where I am accused of things that I don't even do. You have to be on the same level of consciousness, somehow on the same wavelength, or at least on close enough to be able to thrive in my inner circle. And I have quite a few people that I consider to have that. But still, I love all humanity. I might not like some people and how they treat themselves and how they treat each other, the manipulation, the lies that I see on a daily basis. But I love everything, and I'm a big hugger, and I'm misunderstood because my way of loving is, I don't want to label it. I don't want to explain our connection. I don't want to defend the connection. I'm just connecting, and let the universe have this ecosystem. Let the universe do whatever it wants to do. Yet I have a discipline. I know how to limit my freedom. So I might be physically attracted to some guy, and that doesn't mean I have to take action or I have to be engaging in some kind of activity. For example, physical attraction, when you see it for what it is, it just means, oh, you are like a flower. I don't want to cut you and take you home. Or I don't want to water you for that matter, but oh, I saw you. You are a beautiful flower. That's what physical attraction is. And yet, if you are someone in a relationship who is attracted to someone else, you have guilt. The mind grants you of guilt. Oh, you are attracted to someone. How can it be? You should only have eyes for that person, and then that guilt starts like a worm in your brain, and then based on that guilt, because it strengthens the desire to have a sexual experience with the other person, before you know it, now you cheated. It's because of pursuing the thoughts in your mind. If you saw it for what it is, attraction is a very normal thing. We are all attracted to one another, and it's normal. It's admiration, it's appreciation. That's how I connect to others. And I'm a big hugger. I hug everyone, I hug trees, and I am misunderstood on a bigger level. I don't judge people, I discern. I'm not judging this guy, this young guy that I was with at the festival, who projected onto me everything that he's not willing to accept. I don't judge him. I see him. Understand. That's the life he lived. He lived in Europe, where black people are treated like a low class citizen. I don't expect anything. And he's been around for just a month or two. So maybe in the coming months, he will learn. He's manifested the right person for that process. But did he acknowledge it? No, he didn't. So I'm not here for him. I am an instrument for the universe. It's my mission. All right. So but I discern. I know the truth of who you are. If we are intimately close, or if you are in my energy field, if you are in the same space as me, somehow, some way, I have that mystical consciousness that shows me your true color. Yet I don't want to judge it, okay? But I know what it is. I see it. Okay, it's there. That person is this, and that's it. So, anyways, the other thing I learned about is I've made friends with completely opposite realities, and yet they're friends because those opposite realities have some commonality, some basic foundation. in which they connect to each other. So I learned also a lot of people nowadays are not wise about picking friends. Well, I don't have friends at this point in my life, just a few, maybe two, three people that I speak to about my personal journey, whatever. But you know, instead of, it's like loneliness is much better than company that's not adding up in your life. Think about what's the value that these people are adding. If it's because you want company in a bar, for someone to come with you and to drink with you in a bar, you can do it alone, or you can go to a bar alone and then meet a lot of people who are interesting even. So like, it shows me, because like I've made friends from completely different realities, and yet they are together. Why is this? I think it's a codependent and narcissism situation. I've been codependent for a long time, except I was really genuine when I connect, when I bond with people. I'm really genuine, but still there is that subtle expectation of being emotionally soothed by them, for example. Especially my codependence is more of emotional than anything else. So people, somehow they get something that they want, that they don't think that they can have for themselves. They get it in you, they see it in you, they find it in you, and then they devote their entire awesomeness to your wickedness. That's what's happening on the planet, and it's very sad. So, projection, right? Don't let people project onto you. And once they project onto you, please cleanse your aura, swim, take a long bath, salt bath. I'm doing it right now also. Pray and do some kind of meditation, or at least just introspect. Okay, as you are introspecting, you see those holes in your aura. I know that, for example, today I don't have the greatest aura that I usually have, because I woke up feeling upset. Okay, this guy is teaching me about my twin flame. What does it mean? And yet I don't want to project that reality back to my twin flame, because my twin flame is me. Okay, like, it's just one soul in two different bodies. So I have to take responsibility, 100 responsibility percent responsibility, and I still have some emotional pain to process in the coming hours. So I'm healing. As I'm healing you, I'm also healing, and as you are watching this video, you are also healing me. There is energy transference and awesomeness happening, and I'm so happy about that. And this video is much longer than I have expected, and my coffee is cold. So I gotta go. I'll see you. Rastafari, much love, abundance, great aura, less projection in this world. I want to see more love. I want to see harmony. Please think about it, be it, become it. Rastafari, love.